Hello there. Welcome to Sustainability Modeling. This is my commentary for week 2. I've got my little notes here. Let me go through them very quickly. So this week we essentially have actually have 2 lectures this week, and you'll see that there are 2 folders marked Lecture 2 and Lecture 3 in our Dropbox folder for this class. So I've already uploaded the materials, and I've sent you an email reminding you to take a look at those. I have noticed there are a few of you that haven't joined the Facebook group, and I wanted to make sure that everybody is on the Facebook group, primarily because we're going to use that as a primary mechanism to exchange comments and materials. So it's important that you join. As I mentioned before, if you have any reservations about the fact that we're using Facebook for this, I want to rest you assured that there's no, we don't need to be friends. There's no exchange of materials other than class. So there's absolutely no other. So if you have any, privacy issues or things like that, I want to make sure that those concerns are laid to rest. So this week we have 2 lectures, and essentially what we do this week is that we introduce the concept of systems and sustainability, and we use the example of the human body and the body weight is specifically as an example, sort of walk you through the different stages of analyzing a system with inputs and outputs, and the human body is a great example because you can very easily relate to it. We eat food, we exercise, we have inputs and outputs, and then the body weight's a good indicator of a balance between these things, and also when things go off balance. We've analyzed the system. We build a simple sustainability model for the human body, and then we analyze all the inputs and outputs. So it's a nice lecture. It's a nice introduction to the subject. In the lecture 3 part of this week's materials, you will see an introduction to the software that we're going to be using to analyze these system dynamics, which is Vensim. Vensim is a software developed by a company called Ventana Systems, which is where the name Vensim comes from. And I've left you instructions to download the software. It's a free download, and you need to go to vensim.com, which is in the Facebook page. It's also in the email that I sent you, and download version PLE 6.2, which is the latest version. And there's a Vensim tutorial there that it's also in the Lecture 3 folder that I want you to look at. And in Lecture 2 and Lecture 3, there are videos that accompany the development of this. So you should be all set to understand. There is a learning curve, as with any piece of software. Vensim is a fairly simple interface. Actually, too simple. It's it's not terribly fancy, but it is very easy to understand. And it's very simple to set up, nice models. And this week we go, we first introduced the body weight as a sustainable system exercise without the software, and then in Lecture 3, we do it, in the Lecture 3 video, we do it in the software, so you can actually see the transition from sort of doing it without the software to doing it with the software, and then you understand. So I encourage you to go through the videos carefully. I encourage you to replicate by yourselves each of the steps, so that you become, like as with anything you learn new, you have to practice. You got to spend the time. You got to put in the time to learn and practice. And actually, once you get the hang of the software, then you can start getting creative. You can start changing things. And so it'd be interesting to see what you come up with in terms of changes, suggestions, comments. And speaking of comments, I want to remind you, I put this in the email today as well, that I expect you to participate in the class discussion by the Facebook page. And I've seen some comments already from some of you, which is great, but I haven't seen enough. And like I said, not all of you are on the Facebook page, so I want to remind you that participation in the class discussion group is part of your grade. It's a quarter of your grade actually. So I expect you to participate actively. Okay, and that can mean anything. It can mean it can mean commentary to the lecture materials themselves or questions, but it can also mean you bringing in material from other places, readings, additional materials, additional insights. So the idea is that this becomes a rich medium for exchange of ideas. I also wanted to mention, which I haven't seen before, you will notice in the Dropbox folder that with each lecture there are readings that accompany the lecture material. So I expect you to go through the readings. It's not mandatory. I mean, I think it's mostly complementary material to add on to what we discuss in class. I think it'll enrich your view about sustainability, about modeling, about systems. So I think they're useful. Some of the readings are incredibly interesting. From time to time, we'll make reference to the readings in the class. So that's something also that you should do. And they're actually also a very good vehicle to add comments to the discussion. So you can read, do the readings and then comment on them, and it's a straightforward way to sort of earn your class participation part of the grade. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. I hope you enjoy the week, enjoy the lectures. Have any questions? If you have any comments, please go to the Facebook page, put them there, and they'll be responding. Have a great week and enjoy the lectures. Take care now.